Rap fans, welcome back. This is Daryl D. You're watching Daryl D TV right now. And today I'm going to show you 10 of my favorite rap t shirts. They're not necessarily my 10 most favorite because I have a lot of rap t shirts, but they are 10 of my favorite rap t shirts. And I'm going to show them to you right now. Now, I've been buying t shirts forever, pretty much my entire adult life, and I will admit I've gone a little overboard, and I've accumulated quite a few. Some of them have come from different parts of the country, different places, just all over, man, and it's a lot. But I want to show you some really, really cool ones. And I think you'll dig it, especially if you're into rap music like I am. So let's get started. We're going to go and we're going to just get into these t-shirts because there's a little stories behind a few of them that you might find a little interesting. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to start off pretty heavy, all right? We're going to talk about one of the greatest rap groups in the history of rap, legendary. If you don't know about this group, shame on yourself. You need to do some research. But let's talk about the legendary Cold Crush Brothers. Now, I don't have time to give you the whole entire history of this rap group. But let's just say that if there was ever a group that was deserving of research, that was deserving of praise, this would be that group. Now, I've had the pleasure of meeting most of the members of this group over the years. I spent some nice quality time with JDL, spent a lot of time around Grandmaster Caz, even had the pleasure of hanging out and meeting Easy AD a couple times. Tony Tone, I've been in his presence many times. In fact, this is who I bought the shirt from. And I also got to hang out with Charlie Chase once or twice. But I was at, actually, check this out. I was at the very last rap jam, the very last hip hop jam that they had at the Wild Style Amphitheater in New York City before it was torn down. And I didn't know, I don't think anybody knew that they had plans for that place to be demolished. And I think they're putting up some high end apartments or something over there. But he was selling, Tony Tone actually was behind that show. He was hosting it, and he also had T-shirts for sale. So I was able to pick a few of these up, and it just came just this way. But this wasn't good enough for me. So I went over to my homeboy Psych, who is he makes T-shirts and whatnot, and I had him actually add the names of the Cold Crush Brothers right on the back of the shirt. So there you have it. Almighty KG, Tony Tone, Easy AD, JDL, Charlie Chase, and Grandmaster Caz. So this was added to the, just in case, you know, when I'm rocking this, people have a few questions. Yeah, there you go. That's where you start right there. So, yeah, this is the first one I want to show you. The legendary Cold Crush Brothers. And if you dig this, there's more of that coming. This next one I show you is a very recent purchase. Um, I was messing around on social media, and I found this guy who was selling some cool rap T-shirts, not for a whole lot of money, pretty decent price. This guy I'm about to show you right now is, in my opinion, the greatest MC of all time, Mr. KRS-One. And I love orange T-shirts. I have a lot of them. I thought this one was pretty cool. And what I really like about this shirt is on the back, there's the lyrics to one of my favorites, probably in my top five favorites of KRS One songs, Rappers Are in Danger. So there's that whole entire first verse on there, just to give you an idea of what he was actually saying. But yeah, I've had the pleasure of meeting KRS One many, many times over the years. Even got to DJ for him a few times. And I definitely think he's the most important figure in hip hop culture and rap music as well. And so this shirt was basically really, really, it was really exciting to add this to my collection because I don't have a whole lot of KRS One tees, but I do now. Well, I have a few now. So, you digging that? What y'all think of this KRS One tee with the Rappers Are in Danger on the back? I'm digging this. Found this from a cat right here in town too. But if you dig in that KRS One, let me show you another KRS One. Now, during the whole pandemic and everything, um, you remember those verses that they were showing all of the time? I didn't get into any of that stuff. I didn't watch any of them except one, and that was the KRS versus Big Daddy Kane. Now, from what I've been told, from what I've been seeing online, that was indeed the biggest verses out of all of them. In fact, I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was held at the what's that place called in Brooklyn? The Barclays Arena. So how cool was that? They turned it into a whole entire concert. You know what I mean? And I believe it was sold out, but it's definitely the biggest one to my knowledge. I don't think there was another one that even came close. Anyway, they happen to be selling merch for that show. I don't know. I didn't get to go to the show. I don't want to make it seem like I was there, but on the website, there was some website. I forgot where I even heard about this, but I got a link and they were selling merch. And check this out. They actually made in this old school rap tee fashion style a Big Daddy Kane versus KRS One tee. So check that out. I bet a lot of y'all that actually watched this battle probably had no idea that they actually had a t-shirt for that very same show. So this is pretty rare. I'm guessing there's not a whole lot of these floating around. I don't think a whole lot of people even knew about it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Big Daddy Kane versus KRS One. Who y'all think won that? Um, Chris got him, but there was some stuff in there. Big Daddy Kane almost got him. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, yeah, I wish they had put something on the back, but they didn't. Okay, soon after I moved to Phoenix, this was '98. I ran into this guy's name was Ty Carter, and Ty Carter, who was a concert promoter, rap concert promoter, was also managing a local rap group here in town. And the name of that group was No Question. And Ty was looking for a DJ for his group because it was just two MCs. He approached me about it, and I reluctantly accepted. I didn't know anything about the group, and I hadn't heard them, and I was just hoping that they wasn't like gangster rap or anything like that. Found out that they weren't. They were some very, very talented MCs. Put out a couple of projects, but anyway, this is a T-shirt that they had that Ty made from back in the day, and the whole symbol for our group was just the upside down question mark, and the spelling of question was with the QW. So it was real simple and plain. We had just come out with the Eclipse album. Actually, the album was completed, um, and I came along right after the album was completed. So I was there for the whole album release party and all of that. But this is the stuff that we were rocking. Man, I should have pulled that out. I have a picture where we were opening for Rakim, and I'm actually wearing this shirt on stage that night. It's pretty cool. So yeah, one of my favorite, most prized T-shirts in my collection, rap T-shirts in my collection, no question, straight out of Phoenix, Arizona. Mike Wow, Poker Face, and Daryl D. Next up, one of my favorite rap groups in the world, one of the greatest rap groups in the world. I only got to see these guys perform live once. It was 96, if I'm not mistaken. These guys were doing some type of, I heard it was a college tour, but I'm not sure. But they were on tour. Great, great group, the Boogie Monsters. Remember they had that song, Recognize Thresholds of Negative Stress? Remember that song? Well, this is the Boogie Monsters promo tee. And of course, it has the first album, the name of the first album, Riders of the Storm, the Underwater album, and that was their symbol. And I didn't buy this shirt on that tour. I don't even think they had any merch at the time. I'm not sure. I acquired this shirt many years later, but that tour, they were on tour with Common, um, the Artifacts, and the Beatnuts. So if you could imagine that, Beatnuts, Artifacts, Common Sense, and the Boogie Monsters all on one tour. Incredible. I still got my ticket stub too. But yeah, y'all check out, if you haven't already, check out the Boogie Monsters. It's one of the greatest rap groups in history. Part of that whole 90s underground rap vibe. What year is this? Okay. All right, so check this out. This was like 2010. All right, I'm messing around on the internet and I come across this video of Questlove, and he's talking about the next Roots picnic that's coming up, and he's basically saying, "Hey, we got a special guest. I'm not gonna tell you who it is, but all I'm gonna say is this." And then he takes like a black Stetson hat, he puts it on, then he takes big fat gold rope and he puts it around his neck, and then he just looks in the camera and he goes like this. And basically what he was saying was, we're gonna have Run DMC perform. Now, this was the first time, to my knowledge, that Run DMC were gonna perform after Jam Master Jay's passing, which was in 2002, because they pretty much stopped performing after that. Well, when I saw that, as soon as I saw that video, I immediately booked my trip to Philly to attend this concert because, as you know, Daryl D is the biggest Run DMC fan in the world. So, as the concert got closer and closer and closer, I never heard anything about Run DMC. I never, nothing else was ever mentioned about it. And needless to say, they did not perform and they weren't a part of the bill. And I've always been pissed off at Questlove because of that. So, Questlove, if you ever see this, you owe me $500 because that's the amount that I paid to travel to Philly to see the Roots Picnic that was supposed to have Run DMC but didn't have Run DMC. Anyway, needless to say, I did go to the show and I did pick up a t shirt, and this is the t shirt. Roots Picnic, and this was the third annual Roots Picnic, June 5th, 2010. Now, if you take a look on the back, we got this lineup here. We got Vampire Weekend. I don't even know who that is. That's racist. I don't know who that is. We got, the members of Wu Tang there. Clips. Jazzy Jeff. Let's see who else is on here that I know. Mayor Hawthorne is on there. Jay Electronica is on there. John Legend. Foreign Exchange. Let me tell you something. I got to this thing when it started, and luckily, the only thing that saved me. This was not a fun show, not in the least. The only thing that saved me was they did allow you to bring water in there, like maybe one bottle. So I had a bottle of water, and I brought a book with me in a backpack. I was lucky enough to find some place to actually sit down. So I sat down. I was sitting down for hours, just waiting for something to happen. I mean, you had groups going on, but a lot of these groups I was not interested in. Um, Mayor Hawthorne, I watched a little bit of his show, but it was uneventful to me. Not the biggest Mayor Hawthorne fan. Jay Electronica probably did one of the worst performances I have ever seen from a rapper. He kept interrupting himself. He kept freestyling. It was really, really sloppy. Uh, wasn't a fan anyway, but I was like, I don't never need to see that guy again. There was one point where Jazzy Jeff and Questlove were going to be performing together. They were on the main stage, and then there was a separate room. So something happened with Jazzy Jeff's computer or something, and he wasn't able to perform. So some other groups started growing on, and then they eventually moved into this other auditorium because the main stage was sort of outside on this stage. Um, so I went into the auditorium part to try to see them, and it was so sardine packed. It was I've never been that squeezed up in a crowd ever in my life. It was not fun. Finally, after maybe 15 minutes, um, I was like, I got to get out of here. And it just seemed to be like Jazzy Jeff would put on a record, and then Questlove would just start drumming behind it or whatever. That's what it was for a little while. I was like, I got to get out of here. I kid you not, I was probably 15 feet away from the door to get out of there. And it took me probably 20 minutes to go 15 feet. That's how thick that crowd was in there. And I just, so finally, hours later, the Roots end up taking the stage. I think I hung around for maybe three songs. And I was like, I'm out of here. I'm sick of this. I've had enough of this place. I had been there for probably 6, 7 hours. And All in all, the event was completely uneventful and non-exciting and quite boring, unfortunately. And so I just left. I got out of there. Um, but I'm pissed at you, Questlove. You owe me $500, and you need to pay me. I need a restitution, retribution, and all of that. But anyway, I got a cool shirt out of it. I've never worn this. Shirt is in mint condition. Next up, the greatest supergroup in rap music history. Now, if I say supergroup, who y'all thinking of? You thinking of who? What's going through your mind? Let's not even talk about it. Let it be known the greatest supergroup in rap music history is EMC. Who is EMC? Well, let me flip this shirt over and show you who EMC is. It says the new supergroup featuring Master Ace, Wordsworth, Strickland, who's from my hometown of Milwaukee, and Punchline. They put out three albums or whatever, but when they were on tour and they came through Milwaukee, this was a long time ago, maybe 2006, somewhere in there. I'm guessing, give or take a year or two. But yeah, I picked up this T-shirt, and I remember, wow, maybe in 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. Master Ace and Strickland was in town doing the show, and I wore this shirt. And Master Ace was like, "Where'd you get that?" I'm like, "I got it from y'all. What you talking about? Last time y'all were here as a full group." He was like, "Oh, where?" Yeah, but man, I love this shirt. I love this shirt. I don't know if you can tell. It's like a tan shirt. Um, but yeah, who got this one? I know you haven't seen this one. Not too much anyway. Yeah, EMC. What it stand for? Ooh. All right, next up, DJ from the greatest group in the world, Run DMC. This is a T-shirt of Jam Master Jay. Um, beautiful, beautiful airbrush T-shirt. And as you know, Jay passed away in 2002. So I think it was, I don't know, a couple years after that. I believe I found this T-shirt, this original art on eBay somewhere, and I had to have it. I don't remember what I paid for it, but I absolutely love this T-shirt. Um, I remember many years later, I went to this milestone ceremony in Boston, and there was a lot of people being honored that day. They were honoring, let's see, they were honoring Jam Master Jay. They were honoring um, uh, oh, there was some producer guy who worked on Thriller with Michael Jackson. Herbie Hancock was being honored. Um, DJ Premier was being honored. DJ Molly Mall was being honored. Um, there was a number of people. Plus, there were a lot of performances there. So Jazzy J performed, Jazzy Joyce, DJ Rock Raider, um, what's it, Grand Mixer DST. There were a lot of performances. There were different hosts. I think the main host was Fab Five Freddy. Also, there were those that were being honored were presented with awards, and you had different people that were actually um, being the presenters of a lot of the awards. So Alchemist was one of them, and there was a whole lot of different people there. It was a great time, a great ceremony. But I wore this shirt to that show, and so after the actual ceremony, um, oh, let me mention this. Jam Master Jay's family was there. So DMC, he was there. He gave a nice speech about Jam Master Jay. And then Jam Master Jay's mother, brother, and one of his sons was also there. His son, Jason Mizell Jr., was there. So after the actual ceremony and everybody's kind of mingling or whatever, um, I actually met Jason's son. He actually kind of came up to me and spoke to me, and he pointed at my shirt, and he was like, "Hey man, I really like your shirt. That's my father right there." I said, "Yo man, I was a big fan of your father, man, and um, sorry for your loss and all of that." And he thanked me and just told me he really dug the shirt. So that was a cool little exchange there. But yeah, man, this one is fly. Am I lying? JMJ forever. Okay, next up um, is I'm gonna put myself in the spotlight for a quick minute. Um, as some of you might know, I have a record label, which is a labor of love. It's called Jamil Records, and I've made some promo T-shirts for a lot of my customers that I would sell vinyl to. And this is what that T-shirt looks like. So, um, when I decided to do the label, I definitely wanted a image that whenever you saw that image, it would tell you right away that it was Jamil Records. Jamil is actually my middle name. I chose that because I didn't want to spend a significant amount of time trying to come up with something, whatever, catchy or cool or whatever. So I just decided to use my middle name. My homeboy Psych, who is a toy collector, graffiti artist, graphic designer, DJ, and all other kind of stuff. Um, he actually created this image of this beautiful sister for me, which became my symbol for my label. So big ups to Psych for his incredible work on here. And yeah, I put out a number of releases. I think the last release I put out was, I don't know, 2016, 2017. Haven't done a lot lately, but yeah, this is one of the promo T-shirts that I put out, and so there's a lot of these floating around with different DJs around the world. Jamil Records, Daryl D, all day. Okay, so that's 9 T-shirts in. I got one more I need to show you. Before I show you that, let me just tell you about how I actually acquired this last T-shirt. Um, I forget the year, but probably somewhere around 2010, 2012, somewhere in there. I'm in New York City, in the Bronx, at the Tools of War Park Jams, which is a jam that Chrissy Z and Popmaster Fable used to do. And basically, it's like basically would replicate the old school park jams from the old days of New York City. So you have legendary DJs out there in the park spinning, and you've got a ton of just hip hop legends walking around, and a few thousand people there in attendance just having a great time. Well, I'm doing my thing, and all of a sudden, this guy rolls up on me. He's like, "Yo, Daryl," and I'm like, "Yo, what's up, man?" It happened to be a high school buddy of mine from Milwaukee, DJ Wolf D, who I find out is actually living in Harlem at the time. So he's like, "Oh man, it's crazy. It was crazy to run into him." He was like, "Man, of all the people back home, you are the one person out of everybody that I would expect to see at a hip hop jam like this." And I'm like, "No doubt, you know how I do it." Anyway, so it Wolf D tells me that he's been DJing for Kool Moe Dee for some years now, which is pretty cool. And then he's knows all of these different, you know, basically hip hop celebrities from over the years. So the next thing you know, he calls over one of his homeboys, and it's none other than Mike C from the Fearless Four. Now, if you don't know who the Fearless Four is, just pause the video and go find out who the Fearless Four is and come on back and join us again. But the Fearless Four happens to be an old school group from Harlem, um, from back in the early 80s. And they, in my opinion, put out my maybe the greatest rap song, definitely, in my opinion, in the top three greatest rap songs and ever, released. They did that song called "Rockin' It," "Rockin' It," "Rockin' It," "Rockin' It." Jay-Z later sampled it for "Sunshine" and all of that. But anyway, so I get to meet Mighty Mike C of the Fearless Four, which was crazy to me. So there's of course a whole lot of other legends in there, DJ legends, b-boy legends, MC legends from different parts of New York. And so let's fast forward. We fast forward to, I don't know, a few weeks later, 2-3 weeks later. I get a package in the mail from Wolf. And well, let me back it up a bit. Wolf calls me probably a few days after the park jam. He goes, "Hey man, send me your address. I got something that I want to mail you." So I give him my address. A week or two later, I get a package in the mail, and that package in the mail happens to be this Fearless 4 t-shirt. Now, I'm bugging out. I got a Fearless 4 t-shirt. So Wolf goes on to tell me, he says, "Hey man, Mike C really dug the way you were showing him so much love, and he gave me this t-shirt and told me to send it to you as a gift." So wow, this t-shirt came from Mighty Mike C of the Fearless Four, and this is one of the best hip hop gifts I have ever received. Like ever. This is incredible. And if I flip it over here on the back, there you have all of the members of the Fearless Four. Master OC, Crazy Eddie, Peso, Mike C, Tito, and DLB. Wow, what a wonderful gift. Big ups to my homie, Wolf D, and shout out and much love to not only the Fearless Four, but especially to Mighty Mike C for sending such a wonderful gift to one of their longtime fans. Yo, it was a beautiful day. So, there's the 10 that I have for you today. I hope you dig this video because there'll be some more just like this. I got a lot of t-shirts to show you. And this was just 10 of my favorite rap t-shirts in my personal collection. So, until next time, you guys stay safe. And we'll see you again later on Daryl D TV. Peace and love.